I'm pretty sure after today's lesson, y'all are gonna think I'm a crazy person, but this is my favorite chapter. Literally my absolute, probably in every single math class that I teach. Logic and contemporary math is by far it is the best. What did you say, Peter? Math is logic. That's what people always ask too. When will I ever use this again? Like, well, when you're thinking about how long it's going to take you to get ready for work and then like go get gas and then not be late and what you're going to eat and how much you're going to pay on this bill, it's all math. But yeah, I get that it's not the quadratic formula, but math teaches logic. That's literally what it does. And this is the chapter of logic. Goes back to Aristotle. I have a week to grade 3,000 problems. Yeah. So I love y'all, but I'm doing my best. It's literally been one day. I have half of one of my classes done, and then I still have like 150 online students to grade as well. So I have not at all. No way in hell are they done yet. So if y'all took the test on Tuesday, so that means I have until Tuesday to grade them, and then Wednesday would be like whenever I'm putting them in. So you'll get them back on Thursday. And I know that sucks. I go as fast as I can, but I also have 6 kids at home, and I'm trying. If it was up to me, all I would ever do is just teach and not ever test, like, because it's the teaching that's fun. But it's like I have to know, like, hey, are they listening? Okay, so it is 8. I'm gonna go ahead and start this. Y'all, I mean, on my papers, if I can, when I can. I think this was actually done in class last semester, so it's kind of written fairly big, but there's 11 pages. I did the math. I have 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes per page to do. We're gonna cover all of this in 75 minutes. I mean, this is all of 3.1. There's 21 problems on the homework. So, I mean, that's, not 30. I don't know. I mean, I believe there should be 21 problems on section 3.1. And the goal is obviously to get through all of this, and then everything should be covered that you're going to see on your homework, Peter.
Did we cover application of sets?
2.5. 2.5 is the 3 Venn diagrams.
Yeah.
The 3 set Venn diagrams. Yes. No, you're fine. So I think for this section, like for this exam 2, we're going to do 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, and 3.4 is what I believe. And then we'll do our exam 2. It is a lot of writing. I'm not even gonna lie, but let's get started. Okay. So it's 3.1, which is statements and logical connectives. I kind of already have that written there, so I'm just waiting a second for y'all. And like I did say a second ago, logic is something that we use in our everyday life. Now what we're going to do is just kind of see how it goes along with math. We're going to be writing a lot of just English sentences and then applying certain like symbols to each statement, each word, every action that's kind of happening, because they're like operations. And then whenever we move forward in the chapter, we'll actually start doing what's called truth tables. So, if you're a masochist and this weekend you have nothing to do, look up truth tables. That way you can kind of get an idea of where we're going. But again, I'll say it one more time. Out of all the classes I teach, this chapter, my absolute favorite. Okay. So, I mean, hopefully 11 pages in very small amount of time. Meh. But literally, like, this is my heart. Like, the chapter 3 is like my love. Okay, so just in the normal everyday sentences that we use, I'll say the words like and, I'll say the word or, I'll say if and only if, like you can go to the skating rink if and only if you clean your room, right? That's a normal thing that we use, but it's like, I'm going to kind of show you how it can apply to math, and you'll see it as we move forward. What those are called are connectives. I haven't looked to see where I'm at. It's probably too thin. Oh, because it's on 1. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, these are called connectives. Okay, and what connectives are? Words such as and or if. Do you like the ellipses, ellipse? I can't even think. I think it's not an ellipse. The dot, dot, dot. I can say if, then. And then the last one that we have is if and only if. Now, as far as writing is concerned, the if and only, oh, this is real thick. The if and only if can be shortened to IFF. I think I have shown y'all that before. And it literally is just because mathematicians are inherently lazy. And if we have the ability to make something shorter, we're gonna, right? So the connectives are gonna be words like and, or, if, then, if and only if. And it's like, if I study for this class, then I will pass, right? If you clean your room, you can go to the skating rink if and only if you clean your room. So those are similar, but they do kind of have different meanings. Okay. We do have something that's called an inclusive or. So whenever you say the word or, just speaking normally, I forgot to write the word or, y'all. Inclusive or. If I say I want this or this, it could take on two different meanings. I could be saying I get this or I get this. The inclusive or literally is going to be where you could have both. Okay, that's all that means right there. We're going to say one or the other or both. It's that both that makes this an inclusive or. I say of the given events can happen. Whereas just that normal plain or is this or this, like black or white, yes or no. There is no like overlap where, hey, both things could be happening at the same time. Okay. Now, all of these sentences and everything that we keep talking about, or I keep talking about, are called statements. And what a statement is a sentence that can be judged either true or false. Okay. And then let's go further to state that labeling a statement labeling a statement true or false is called assigning a truth value. This is where the meat and potatoes is in this section, are these truth values. So if we do have a statement and we label it true, we'll start seeing where we're going to literally be writing the world's most obnoxious amount of capital T's. And we will also be using the world's most obnoxious amount of capital F's. I'm going to do like a little itty bitty baby example. Okay. An example of a statement could be today is my birthday. Right? It's a statement. There's a period at the end. It is conveying one thought or one idea, and it can be assigned a truth value. If today was Friday, February 3rd, like not that long ago, and I made this statement, I could assign the truth value of true to it, right? Because obviously it would be my birthday. Me as Jennifer Nicole Stevens saying today is my birthday on February the 16th, the truth value that would be assigned to this would be false. But you say it's a statement, one thought, one idea, simple, right? Very simple. That one idea, that one thought is what makes it a simple statement. Okay, but that is something that can be assigned a truth value. And I know I just said that it's a simple statement. Now I'm actually going to define the difference between a simple statement and a compound statement. And then we kind of start talking about the different operations that are done on these statements. Okay. So a simple statement. Conveys only one idea. And can be assigned a truth value. Okay. These are, I guess I could make that capital. Truth values, simple statements are denoted, and it's for both simple and compound, but just the denotion for statements. We're going to be using like a lowercase p, a lowercase q, a lowercase r. I don't, to my knowledge, we will never have more than 3 statements that we're working on at a time. I was going to say something and then I started thinking. I can never teach or talk when I start thinking. Okay, simple statements conveys an idea denoted P, Q, or R. Let me just kind of go on and I'm sure I should remember. But this is going to be just statements in general, simple or compound. We're going to use lowercase p's, q's, and r. Oh, there we go. Okay. So obviously, if you are doing something and it is involving a sentence like today is my birthday, it is hot outside, I am cold, whatever it may be. You don't like work on them in that form all the time. You'll change them. P is going to be today is my birthday. Q is going to be it is cold outside. Do you see what I'm saying? Like you kind of assign them this name, and then that's when you start doing the operations on them. Okay, so you will see a lot of sentences on the homework, and you're going to be going from one form to the other. I know, Peter loves me. Okay, compound statements. If a simple statement is a statement that conveys one idea, a compound statement is, a statement or a sentence that combines 2 or more simple statements. I really do wish I could copy and paste. And can be assigned a truth value. That's kind of moot. I mean, we've kind of been saying all statements can be assigned a truth value. Okay, so I feel like a compound statement that involves multiple simple statements can also be given a truth value. Okay. A compound statement is going to be the statements that use those connectives and or if then if and only if, right? Because like I'm using more than one simple statement and I'm like connecting them together with that connective. Okay, so let's start talking about our like operations, I guess we could say. I'm gonna start changing colors around here. Okay, the first one we're going to talk about is a negation. And what a negation does, it changes a statement to its opposite meaning. we use the word not or we kind of do quotes on not. We use the word not or it is not true. So if I'm working on statements and I say to you, it is not true that today is my birthday, I just negated that simple statement, today is my birthday. If I say, today is not my birthday, that's a true statement because today is not my birthday, but that word not negated that simple statement, today is my birthday. Okay, it's a lot of English and math. It's awesome. Okay, I'll do like little, just kind of example. I'm literally just gonna write, today is not my birthday. Which makes me sad. Okay. Quantifiers. So quantifiers are going to be kind of like a set of all these different words, and they have the form of a quantifying statement, and then they're going to have a form of its negation. And I'm going to list every single one of them, and then we're going to do two little examples, and these are going to be also types of problems that you're going to see on the homework. How did I do it before? Black and then purple? Yeah. Okay. So quantifiers. Quantifiers are words such as all, none, in parentheses, I'm writing or no, some. Let me say and some. So it's saying that, let me see, let me do the form of the statement and then form of the negation. The examples make more sense than to try to come up with something like on the fly. Okay. So form of statement. And then form of negation, I'm gonna write right next to each other. If you see a statement and it's written where you read all are, the negation of a statement that uses all are would be some are not. I'll alternate these colors. If you see a statement and it's written with the words none are, its negation is some are. And then we have two more. If we see a statement and it's written some are, do you notice how right here I already wrote that? We really just have these two pairs right here, but to keep it from being confusing, do you see how I just wrote some are right here? So if I write some are first, the negation is going to be none are. I'm just doubling up on it. So like y'all have this list, okay? None are. This is something that gets written on your note card that you can use for exam 2. Okay, these are quantifiers. And then there's one more, some are not. The negation of that would be all are. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all, I stumbled upon this in a bag and I lost it last semester and it's not broken. Remember I broke the other one last time? Yeah, I was so excited. Okay, so let's do an example where we are going to write negations of statements that are using quantifiers. Okay, we're going to write negations. Okay, y'all have those written, so I'm gonna kind of just slide up, because if not, I'm really gonna run out of room. Okay, so say we were given the sentence, some books are novels. Some are novels. And do you see how it says none? To write it properly, you'd be like, no books are novels. You wouldn't write none books are novels, but you would need to say that they don't exist, that none are. And so for like the solution to this, we could say no books are novels. There's going to be many sentences that you negate or you read or that you'll see on the homework that in the real world are not true. So just kind of step back from wanting to put that meaning on it and just kind of pay more attention to like the things that it's trying to show you. Because for a solution to be no books or novels in the real world, like that's not, you know what I mean? It's just the solution to this statement using this quantifier, and this is how you negate it. Okay. Okay, so all coins. Why did I do green? All coins have the image of George Washington.
So the negation would be some coins do not have.
Yep, that's it. I see the words all. I know it's not all are, but it's still like an all have, all are statement. And so we would negate it by saying some coins do not have. And I'm sorry, some coins do not have the image of George Washington. Yeah, I'm gonna shorten it to a good old GW. Okay. So we did the negation, which does the opposite meaning of whatever the truth statement is that's applied to something. The quantifiers, I kind of always have to throw that in right there with the operations, because you're gonna see examples on the homework that are gonna want you to negate something. And then now is like the real, I want to say operations, because that technically is what they are, that we're going to be using the most with our compound statements. I'm going to tell you the two connectives that will always be used there. And then we're going to talk about negation, but I'm going to show you the symbols for it now, and then a conjunction, and then a disjunction. And I think we'll just start doing examples like for the rest of the class. Whenever we meet again, we'll be doing biconditionals and conditionals and yeah, everything that goes along with that. So whenever we have compound statements, it's just another piece of information. What we do is we use connectives. These are the specific ones to join two simple statements. With and I'm going to go ahead now and kind of show you the way we denote and. It looks like an upside down V. or, which is a V. And y'all, there's a similarity with the intersection and the union of what we did with the set theory. Like everything ties together. And here we should actually be able to see De Morgan's law. Technically, it really wouldn't make any sense to do it with sets because, I mean, it's like, yeah, it always works out. Here's where it's actually like fun. Okay. And then we have, okay, and, or, okay, so if, then. Which is denoted with an arrow pointing to the right. And then we also have our if and only if connective. So this is a double arrow. So I know we just kind of reiterated a sentence we had already said, but I'm kind of showing you the symbols now. Because what I'm fixing to do is start kind of like breaking apart all the sentences and doing examples. I'm going to go up just a little bit. Okay, not statements. Not statements are our negations. Okay. The negation of a statement is, okay, so it's called a tilde. It just kind of looks like it's a little squiggly. Call it, I love the squiggly. It's called a tilde. Okay, it's red, not, and it's going to be like this, not P. Remember how I said the statements now are going to be represented with these lowercase letters P, Q, R. They could use S, T, U, V, but it's P, Q, and R like the main ones. So if I have a statement, right, and I'm calling it statement P, and I want to negate that statement, I do tilde P. Okay, this is red, not P. So even though the symbol's name is tilde, we call it not. Okay. Okay, and then we have and statements. Our and statements, their name is conjunction. And I know some people sang a song in their head. There was some cartoon or show on TV and that reminds people of something all the time. I don't know what it is, but it reminds people of something all the time. Thank you. Yeah, is it, what is your function? Okay, I don't know what it is, but yay, Peter's happy again. I've never seen it. Okay, so and statements. Okay, so like y'all, these are like our not statements, right? Our and statements. They have different names. Not as a negation, we use a tilde, we read it not P. And statements, their name is conjunction. Okay. So here we go. I'm trying to keep it in line as much as possible. The conjunction. Okay, so you see I'm using the word and, right? It's a connective and it's called a conjunction. If I say the word and, I'm not just saying today is my birthday. I'm saying today is my birthday and I am old. I used an and. Those are both two simple statements, right? So I'm now no longer just working with P. I'm working with P and Q. Okay, so the conjunction of P and Q is, okay, you write your simple letter P, your simple statement P. We're going to use that symbol for and then you write Q. That right there is telling me that I have two simple statements. The statements are P, Q, and they're being joined together by a connective. Oh, specifically the connective and. Does it help if I move it like this? That way I'm not right in front of it. My other classes I can't because of everyone over there. But that way I don't feel bad for every time y'all are trying to look over me, because I want to tell y'all just to come right here. Like, I don't bite that hard. Okay, sorry, y'all, I got cold. I'm never cold, but I'm cold today. Okay. What's it call it? The conjunction of P and Q is P and Q. Okay, there's some other words that they could use when they use conjunction, because obviously, like, it'd be too easy if all they ever said was just and, you know what I mean? Okay, so actually, I'm not even on the charger in this class. I could go and sit by anybody I wanted to. Some other words. That may be used or so I did like a colon. Some other words that may be used, but however, and nevertheless. Nevertheless, so what, one word, right? Nevertheless. Pretty sure. Who knows? I'm pretty sure though. Okay, so that's our and.
Nonetheless,
Nevertheless, nonetheless, I mean, it's, we could go ahead and I'll just do like this, none. Nevertheless, nonetheless, it's just saying that there's other words that could represent that and, okay? And I'm not even gonna lie to you. However, and never or none, those three last ones, don't really know for sure. We'll see. I have in other colleges, other books, other levels of whatever. I know for a fact that like but is probably gonna be used. That's it. Okay. Now let's do an example where we're going to write a conjunction in symbolic form. So you're given a P, you're given a Q, right? And then it's like, write it in, write, write, I'm trying to explain it. I'm trying to remember how they give it to you in the homework. They're either going to define P and Q first and then give you a compound statement and then have you turn it into symbolic form, or yeah, that's what I see them doing. So I'm actually just going to write these like that. I'm just talking to myself. Example. Okay, we're going to write a conjunction in symbolic form. It's following after I defined a conjunction. I don't feel like I should have to write this, but I'm gonna write a conjunction in symbolic form. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're going to let P and Q be simple statements. Okay. Our P is like a colon. Seriously, all this is going to be the type of stuff you see. Kanye West is on tour.
not anymore.
Probably not. Okay, Kanye West
Or in German.
is on tour. Let simple statement Q be Kanye West is recording a CD. Solution. Oh, I got to tell you the thing. I can remember I'm writing it differently in my, that I have it written in front of me. That's why I messed up. Sorry. So those are my two simple statements, right? Now it's going to actually write it as a sentence, as a conjunction, and then I'm going to write it symbolically. Okay. So here is what they tell us. This is what they tell me. They say Kanye West is not on tour, but Kanye West is recording a new CD. I've just put CD because I only wrote CD in the simple statement queue. Or add the word new in between it. That's neither here nor there. It will not change anything. Okay,
But there's new CD in, CD there.
right? In your Walkman. So P is the statement Kanye West is on tour. Q is, oh, that's not good. That one's bad. Q is the statement Kanye West is recording a CD. The compound statement that they gave me is Kanye West is not on tour, but Kanye West is recording a CD. Okay, so here's this solution. Okay, I know that I see this word, which is commonly used with a conjunction. So whenever I'm going to write it symbolically, I start with that connective. What follows before that word that's used with the conjunction is Kanye West is not on tour. P is the simple statement, Kanye West is on tour. So I know that I'm using that simple statement P, but it has been negated. Correct? So this is saying Kanye West is not on tour, and for Kanye West is recording a CD, I would not put not Q because that would negate that statement. But this part of the sentence right here, that did not negate that statement. That's literally saying that simple statement Q. So whenever I go symbolically, I just write Q. Not P and Q, when given those simple statements, is saying this symbolically, what we have written in purple. You'll need to know how to go from the purple writing to the solution in black, and from this symbolically written, I'm giving you the P and Q, and then you write out the purple sentence, regardless of whatever words are used or whatever names of moons or Jupiters or stars or whatever it may be. That's just using the and. Let's talk about or, do an example with or. Then I need to talk about all kinds of stuff. Okay, so I'm gonna have to speed it up just a little bit because I feel like that was a decent introduction of me going slow as I can. Okay, so we have our or statements. Because now it's kind of just super redundant from this point on. It's just using different symbols, but everything else is the same, okay? Our or statements, these are called disjunction. Okay, and we have the disjunction of P or Q is P or Q. We use this symbol for a disjunction, which is a V. Okay, so it's an upside down V for and, just like the intersection was like this, same thing. And then for or, it's this, which is very similar to a union. But later, I swear it'll tie in and you'll be like, oh my God, I see an example. I feel like I see a similarity. Okay, example.
People actually use this in normal everyday, not at all. You guys are at each.
This is an intro. The level of difficulty on 3.2, 3.3, 3.4 with truth tables. If you don't understand this, you're not going to be able to do a truth table. I'm laying the groundwork for the most beautiful fun you're ever going to have in your life in a math class.
I had a lot of fun.
I have a YouTube channel. It's called Inked and Educated. I actually have 3.3 and 4 recorded. Yeah, inked. I'll put it. I'll send it in an email. Yeah, example. I believe it was Snowmageddon 2020. or 20, I don't remember when it was. Was it a year ago today? Okay, 2 years ago. So I actually recorded 3.1 and 3.2 by just looking at a PowerPoint, and you hear my voice, and I was having my kitchen redone. So you hear that as well. So it's not great. I mean, I probably could put this on there, but what's it call it? 3.3 and 4 is on there, and like you could kind of see, like as we're doing these, there is no like explaining and talking. It's and or negation and you're writing T's and F's, and it's like it's a whole process. So right now is really just kind of learning and like diving as deep as we can. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, so we're going to let P be the simple statement. Camilla will take chemistry. Q is the simple statement. Camilla will take French. Okay, they want us to write a disjunction in symbolic form. Here is the disjunction that they give me, which is Camilla. Will, I'm just trying to figure out why there's 2 examples here, because time-wise, I can't do 2 examples. Camilla will take chemistry or French. I see that connective word or. So whenever I go to write my solution, I don't see the word not, like will not take chemistry or will not take French. So neither of these simple statements are going to be negated.
P sun Q.
PVQ. P or Q. After a while, it's like you say the word or, I know what you mean. Whoop. Oh, $15 drink right here, man, that would kill me. So yes, because the simple statement, I could read PVQ and then see these up here, how they were like defined, and know that this is saying P is Camilla will take chemistry or Camilla will take French. Right there. See, it's gonna get better and better and better and better and better. 42, 52, 5, got 30 minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages. I'm still on a 6-minute pace per page. Okay, let's go. Okay. When a compound statement, and we got to write this just so you kind of understand what it is that's happening. Okay, like the reason why we're doing it. Okay, when a compound statement contains more than one connective, a comma can be used to indicate which simple statements are grouped together. I'll figure out where the antecedent and consequent. Okay, both there. Pretty much the same thing now, but I guess maybe not. Okay. So when a compound statement contains more than one connective, a comma can be used to indicate which simple statements are grouped together. So this is going to be whenever we have multiple statements, a P, a Q, and an R, right? Now, written as a sentence, like you don't really think too much about how you would write it symbolically. And right here, this comma is what helps you really understand how to write it symbolically. Okay, so let's do example. If y'all want to write it, you can, but you just write in symbolic form is what we've been doing each time. Okay, so I have these three simple statements. Okay, I'm gonna let P be the simple statement. Dinner includes soup. I told you all these statements are very weird, but believe it or not, we are doing math. I promise. Q, I actually started soup this morning. So random, but I did. I feel like I'm getting a delay. Dinner includes salad. And then we have a simple statement R, which is dinner includes veggies. Okay, so the compound statement that I'm given, that I'm going to be writing symbolically is, actually I have two of them. So let me take this away. Well, no, I could do that. Now let's call it A. Go ahead and call it A. Okay, for the first one, it's dinner. Includes soup. Comma. Very important to know where that comma is. Okay. Dinner includes soup, comma, and salad or veggies. Even going to pick out what you want to eat, you're using math. Well, you're using logic. Okay. So I've got all these different things, which is why in the black, the direction said that if you do have a compound statement that connects, like use multiple connectives, we're going to use that comma to know where things are paired together. Because if not, you just have a whole bunch of like run-on symbols and things, and it doesn't really make any sense. Okay. So what I notice is that before the comma, I have dinner includes soup. Okay. That's grouped together. What is that? P, it's going to be by itself. Then I have the connective and then I have two things on the right-hand side of and. That's actually going to be grouped together. But because I have that connective in the middle, I need to use parentheses. So I'm going to kind of write it and say it, and then let's see if we can't not get a headache. Okay, so dinner includes soup. That is my P statement. And then I see the connective word and then I see where it says salad or veggies. So let me just kind of write it without the parentheses real quick and show you why it is important and why that comma is something that we use, okay? So if we have salad is going to be our Q statement. Then we have or, which is our V, and then we have our veggies, which is our R. Okay, so these connectives are connecting two statements, right? Right now I've got two connectives connecting three statements. We've got to break that up. That's why this comma is used. Okay, what we use it for is to know how things are grouped together. Our P is alone on the left. Our Q and our R have been grouped together after the comma. Okay, now we wouldn't put it here. We put it after the connective. And that right there is your solution. No, the comma is in our English sentence symbolically. Basically, it's yep. The comma tells me what to group together, right? Because I can't have like statement connective, statement connective, statement connective. The connective is what connects two statements. So right here, I needed to be like, which two statements are being grouped together? This is still saying the same thing, y'all. I know what these sentences mean, right? So this is saying that dinner includes soup and it's going to include a salad or veggies. Okay, but I do have to continue because we have like 6 pages left and like not long. Okay, so let's do the second one. Just so I can kind of have the exact same 3 statements using about the soup and the salad and the veggies. I'm gonna reword it differently and then we're gonna see, we can see how that comma is gonna group things differently. Okay, so this one's gonna be dinner includes soup and salad, comma, or veggies. And hopefully y'all do kind of see how this is compared to the real world because we use logic like this all the time, every day. Okay, my comma went after my soup and salad. And then I'm gonna write right here, or veggies. Personally, y'all, go through, write your simple statements, write your connectives, and then figure out what came before, what came after, what's grouped together. I could see Peter's wheels turning. Okay, dinner includes soup. That was my P, correct? Then I see and. Then I see salad. Then I see or. Then I see veggies. Which 2 connectives are going to be grouped together? P and Q right before the or, just like so. Got it? Okay, because there's my, and then these are the 2 because they came before. It really doesn't mean because they came before. It's just takes like, I don't know how you would say that, but like, I guess pay attention. That sounds mean, to where the comma is, because the comma is what helps us know what's grouped together. That's basically it. Okay. And that would be your solution to that. Okay. Now I'm going to give you a simple statement P. I'm going to give you a simple statement Q. I'm going to write it symbolically and we're going to write it in an English sentence. Okay. Yay. Example. Meh. I hate having to write all this because I already said it, but now I'm saying it again. Change symbolic form into words. Okay, we're going to let P be the house is for sale. And we're going to let our simple statement Q be, we can afford the house. We can afford the house. Part A is going to be P and not Q.
So,
Part B is going to, well, I'll probably go ahead and fill it out first before I'll write it in green. Yes, Peter.
so it's just a squiggly line, like there's,
It's not, it just means not. That's the negation, remember?
like I can just, like, any, like.
Squiggle.
It's kind of throwing me off.
It's a tilde.
For the way that
It's-
you write, put it upside down. Okay.
It's like, oh, is it like this? Hold on. Like that? Huh. That's funny. My tilde looks like a sideways S. However you want to write it, it's fine. Make a squiggly line. I now want to like look at the homework and see, because I'm pretty sure it's written the way I write it, but its name is tilde. So maybe there's variations. Let's pretend like there is. Solution. He and not Q. So my simple statement P has not been negated. So it is going to just be written the exact same way it is, which is the house is for sale. I see the connective and. So I write the word and. Q has been negated. We cannot afford the house. Get very comfortable with these though. Okay, because right now we're learning it, we're putting sentences on it so I can explain the concepts and what's happening. We're gonna lose our sentences soon. Okay, not like soon today, but it's gonna happen to where all you have are these and all we're doing is looking at the meanings of these connectives, basically, okay? B, y'all have it written in front of you, so I'm just gonna slide up so that y'all can do it. Oh, damn, there's C. Okay, B is not P or not Q. With my sideways, backwards tildes. Okay, simple statement P is the house is for sale, but it's been negated. So what do I say? The house,
Right, public is house. The house is not for sale and we cannot afford it.
yep. So even if it was for sale, I can't afford it, but guess what? The house is not for sale and I can't afford it. Oh, that's not an and, Peter? That's an or.
So the house is not for sale.
Or I cannot afford the house. And remember how I told you, like, we kind of have to step back from like the way we really see things or whatever, because it's just like, this is just teaching us like these symbols and like the operations that they're doing. See? Okay. I just forgot that. Well, I think whenever we talked about the negation, I told you that it could say, like, it is not true. I said that we could say that instead of just saying the word not, we could say it is not true. That is also the same thing as saying it is false. Okay, like those are synonymous in a same difference type of way. Okay, because the solution is going to use it is false. On the homework, you might see it is false. If on the test you say it is not true, that's how I think of it. So it's okay. And this is what I mean. If we have a negation of the conjunction of two simple statements, P and Q, and I write it as like a sentence, as words, I personally, I always want to say, it is not true that the house is for sale and I cannot afford it. I'm sorry. Yeah, and that I cannot afford, or that I can afford it. I can afford it because that was simple statement P. Or I can say, it is false that the house is for sale and I can afford the house. Okay, it is not true or it is false is the same. Okay, I think I stuck with few less words and said it is false. That is how you would write that. It is false. You're taking that conjunction of those two simple statements and I'm negating its whole, that whole connective. But instead of it being just one simple statement, I'm taking that whole conjunction and I'm negating it. Okay, so it is false. That the house is for sale and I can afford. I just want to write it, but I'm going to say the house. I'm experiencing some kind of delay. I'm going to break this pen too soon. Okay. So far,
It's simplified.
yeah. That's the symbolic. It's just, yeah, it's way better. Okay. And like, who needs these sentences once we actually fully, truly understand these operations? Like, I mean, obviously we need to know them because for the exam, but okay. So what we talked about is the negation, which is a not, which changes the truth value. The conjunction, which is an and, which like is the connective of two simple statements. The disjunction, which is the or, which connects two simple statements. Here and then we also kind of threw in where we have like 3 simple statements and how that comma is really important because it tells you how to group things together. Now we're going to talk about if then statements. And then after that, we have if and only if statements. And then that's it. Well, I have one more page after that, but it's like we've gone over all the operations that we need to go over today. Okay. But yeah, I see the time too, Peter. If then statements. Yeah, there's a delay. It like just knows exactly when to stop working properly, to give me anxiety, because we need to finish this whole lesson today. If then statements. Okay. This has a specific name. It's a conditional statement. So the conditional that delay in my brain. The conditional statement is symbolized by, and it's going to be one arrow pointing to the right. Here, it's not pointing to the left, it's pointing to the right. It's pointing to the right because order matters, and we'll do that later, but just know that where it points is important, obviously. Like if it wasn't, well, why would it even point? Okay, conditional statements, order does matter, it's very important. Okay, this is red if then. I want to be like simple, easy peasy. And then I need to, I wonder if it's going to ask you that. The antecedent comes before the arrow, the consequent follows after the arrow. We're gonna not do that because I can explain what's being done there without saying that. Let me write this right here because this is important. Okay. So do you know how earlier I was like, oh, P or Q, oh, P and Q, like I gave you an example of using the 2 statements. That's kind of going to be what I do now. It is slightly different because it's not just a connective that goes in the middle and you say it. Like as you write it in the middle, it's kind of different because I have the 2 different parts, the if and the then. Okay, this would be if P, then Q. And the way it looks and the way it's written, I always say, I know it's an if and only if, so I start with the arrow. If P, then Q. Now it's a little bit different than just saying P and Q and you write the upside down V, right? This one is an arrow that goes in between and the order is important. Okay, this is what, if you start seeing words about antecedent and consequent, tell me, but I don't think so. This would be the antecedent because it follows before. And then this would be what would be called the consequence or the consequent, right? If you do not clean your room, then I'm not giving you your allowance, right? Okay. So example, we're going to write the conditional statement symbolically. So they're just going to give me a P, they're going to give me a Q, and then we're just going to write it in symbols. Okay. I just change random colors randomly. I love it. Always the same 3, but there's really no rhyme or reason. Okay, we're going to be writing it symbolically if you want to write that on a page. Okay, we're going to let P be the simple statement. The portrait is pastel. We're going to let Q be the simple statement. The portrait is by B Smith. In my notes, it's a much longer last name. I let the last name fit that space I had left to write and I changed it to Smith. But yes, these are it's all these sentences. That's why I'm trying to not shorten it because I understand it and I feel like I'm doing decent at explaining it. I wanted to give y'all as much like similarity to your homework, okay? So our A is if the portrait is by B. Smith, comma, then the portrait is not a pastel. And I did kind of swish that on there, sorry. This is what I noticed, okay? And you're gonna see this in a second, the if and only if it belongs in a specific place between statements, the if then belongs in specific places, but not between, well, yeah, still between statements. I see the then right here, right? But an if then statement, search with the word if. So when I personally see the word if, and then I see the word then, what I do is I immediately write my conditional symbol. And then I look what's before the then, that's going to go before the arrow. And then after the then is going to go after the arrow. So if the portrait is by B. Smith, that is Q and it has not been changed, correct? Oh, thank you. Sorry. I always, every day. This, what is Q? Q is the portrait is by B. Smith. And it says if the portrait is by B. Smith, then the portrait is not pastel. Tell me what follows, Peter. Not. Does that make sense, y'all? Okay. Hilda. Oi, 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 oi. Got 9 minutes. I've got anxiety through the roof right now. Okay, let's go. Thanks, internet. Okay. If and only if statements. So I'm going to do my shorthand, IFF. So the one-sided arrow is a conditional statement. If this, then this. The if and only if statement is a biconditional statement. And later we'll learn that that one-sided arrow order is going to matter. We do have to think about things a certain way. With the biconditional, order does not matter. Okay, and the biconditional statement is symbolized by an arrow that points both ways. Biconditional, both. Okay, and this is read if and only if. And this is how we say it. We say P, if and only if Q, which is P, if and only if Q. 4 different ways I just told you about the biconditional statement, right? Symbolized by the arrow that points in both directions. It's read if and only if, right? So if I say P, if and only if Q, if that's what comes out of my mouth, then symbolically, that's what's done. That's saying a statement, and then you'll see the words literally in between the two statements. If and only if, another statement. Okay, whether it be Q if and only if R, or R if and only if P, it doesn't matter, like the way that they can kind of be thrown at you isn't as important. I want purple. Yeah, I should probably start drinking this $15 drink before it dies. It wasn't the one I wanted today either, but whatever. Energy. I have none of it. Turn my tongue blue. We're gonna write. Okay, we're gonna write it symbolically. I don't know why I paused there. I kind of read something, it was concerning for a second. We're doing the exact same thing we've been doing with every operation, okay? We're gonna let P be the simple statement. Alex plays goalie. And we're going to let Q be the simple statement. Huskies win. Okay, it's only this one, so we don't need to label it A, B, or C or anything. What they give me is Huskies win. No, I'm gonna use a shorthand because I'm not gonna write it all out. If and only if Alex does not play goalie. Solution. I look at what it is that I have in front of me. I see the if and only if. I go ahead and I draw that symbol first. I start with my connectives if I ever can. Okay, I look to the left of if and only if. I see Huskies win. There's not the word not, it hasn't been negated. That is quite literally my simple Q statement. After the words if and only if, it says Alex does not play goalie. So yes, that is my P, but it's going to be negated. And that's it. Okay, now. Yes.
You said for this one, the order doesn't matter.
Here, this will, and that's gonna be really more something that we'll see later. And y'all, we're not done. I'm just gonna do a little summary really quick, which I think would be helpful for y'all to have written in this manner for your note card. Plus I have 4 minutes left. I'm pretty sure I just made myself bleed. So, and you'll see it a lot later, like when we do the truth tables, that's when it really comes into play. I'm just saying it now, so it's like a seed that has been planted, okay? Okay, so I'm gonna give you a list of logical connectives. This is something I would look at and refer to whenever you need to, and possibly exactly how you write it on your note card if you needed to, like whatever, okay? So we have formal. We have symbol. We have read, as in like how you read, how it's read. And then we have symbolic form. Okay, so we have negation. All right, that's its formal name. Its symbol is however you want to do it. This comes from the book though, and they do start top left and go bottom right. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, yeah, and that's what I do. Mine is kind of a little bit fancier and bigger, but it's as long as it's a squiggle. Okay, it's red, not. And in symbolic form, it would be not P. Okay, and then we have a conjunction. This is literally everything that we've done today, which is really the reason why I wanted to finish with this, okay? A conjunction, the symbol looks like an upside down V. It is red and it would be the conjunction of two statements, P and Q. You kind of see what I'm doing? I'm just summarizing it. Then we have disjunction, looks like a V, it is read or, and it would be the disjunction of two simple statements, P or Q. Okay, and then we also talked about a conditional statement, which is the symbol of an arrow pointing to the right. It is read if, then, and it looks like this is how I do it, y'all. I read it like this: if P, then Q. Like I do this symbol, go to the P and then go to the Q. This makes more sense in my head. I don't know why. And then lastly, we have a biconditional, which is an arrow pointing in both directions. It is read if and only if, and it is symbolically written as P, if and only if Q. Found it. Boom. So much fun. Y'all are free to go, obviously, because it's exactly 9:15. I feel really good because I got it all 11 pages. Yes, yeah. That three, yep, you can. Just, I mean, obviously, like I'd write it little. I'm telling you though, we're gonna have a more kind of simplified version of this moving on. And I would probably like recommend doing that one, not this one, but this should help with the homework and stuff. But I mean, you can have all of it, whatever you can fit on the note card.